Welcome to the Stacey dress tutorial. This is a very simple backless dress. I personally love this dress. We're gonna go step by step over the instructions. Feel free to reach out if you have any more questions, and we're gonna get started. So we've already cut out all of our pattern pieces and marked our notches, and we are gonna start with the 2 back pieces, and we are gonna place these right sides together and pin at that center seam and sew. Also, you'll see I use pins and clips interchangeably. It is up to you what you prefer. Because this is a stretch fabric, we are going to use a zigzag stitch. I'm starting out with my zigzag, but then I will move to my serger. You can use either or. While you're sewing down those 2 back pieces, you are only going to go to the bottom notch. This is because you're going to leave the vent open so that it's easier to walk. Once we have all of that sewn down, we are going to press our seams open, especially those bottom vent pieces. And again, this is on a low heat because this is a stretch fabric. This is going to help a lot when you sew those bottom pieces to connect it to your lining so that it's seamless. This will just help you create a line to follow as you're sewing when you put those together. Once everything is pressed down, I'm going to grab my front piece. I'm going to place these with the right sides together, and I'm going to pin and sew all of the sides down. You'll see I did this with my serger. You can still use a zigzag stitch. If you don't have a serger, don't worry. Once you've sewn everything down, you're going to follow the exact same steps for your lining and put these aside. We are going to work on our straps. There are 4 different kinds of straps. There are short ones, there are long ones, and then there are 4 extra long ones. So here are all the straps. The next steps will be the same. The only thing that's going to be different is how you sew them down. So what you're going to do is you're going to take those straps, fold them right sides together, and then you're going to sew this down. Once you've sewn all of these down, you can either use a loop turner or you can use a safety pin trick, and you're going to turn them right sides out so that they are facing the correct way. Once you've done this is a really good time to check the strap length, whichever one you're doing, just to make sure that it fits okay. Everyone is different in how they like their straps. Just remember, this is a stretch dress and they are meant to fit tight. Now, before we go back to the straps, we are going to take our main dress, and then here you see my lining. It is a slightly different color red, so you can really see the difference. We are going to take our main fabric, which is inside out, and our lining fabric, which is right side out, and put them inside each other so that they are right sides facing. Sometimes this takes a little bit of maneuvering, but you want to get them really, really straight and in there the same way. And then we are going to pin the tops. I like to start at the seams when I pin, and then I'll kind of go in and fill the rest. And you'll see I'm also shaking it out a little once it gets there because I want everything to really be lining up. So I'm making sure this is all even before I do my straps, and then I will unclip again and do my straps. Shorter straps are for the backless, the longer straps are for the crossback, and the 4 straps that are cut on the fold are for the tie back. Both the crossback and the backless will only be done to the front. So you can see I'm taking my strap, putting it in between my layers, and then putting it at the front and clipping, and we will sew all of that down just like that. If you are doing the tie back, there's one more step, so you will repeat that the same way. You will put that in the front and you will clip it down, making sure none of that strap is any other parts. You want to sew it down incorrectly. And then we will do the exact same thing, but for underneath that armpit area, and we will put this perpendicular to that 90-degree angle, and then stuff our strap back down so it is in between the lining and the main fabric. And quickly, one more time, the short straps are for backless, the longer straps are for crossback, and the 4 straps cut on the fold are for the tie. Once we have all of those in, whichever straps you decide to do, we are going to sew everything down, flip it inside out, and then once you do, you will see you have a seamless strap. So you can see I have my seamless strap. There is an optional top stitch if you feel like you need it. I did not top stitch my dress, but if you would like it, you are more than welcome to. From here, there are a couple different things you will do. For a backless style, you would take your strap and connect it perpendicular 90 degrees to that armpit. For the cross back, you will cross it over and connect it this way and sew it together. If you did the 4 straps and sewed them in, you would just have 2 straps on each side and you would tie these at the top. This specific dress is the backless, so I'm going to pin and sew, and then I will go and clip off my ends. Once this is done, we are heading to the very last step, and that is just the hem. I like to start at the seams to make sure everything is matching up, and I'm going to fold over my main fabric to match my lining fabric. I'm going to do this all the way around before I finally get to my vent, and that is the only thing that will be slightly different. And I like to use a lot of pins for this to make sure it stays. Once I get to that bent portion, I am folding these in on each other. This is why that pressing was really important, because we get to follow that line and it makes it so much easier. Again, I'm gonna pin these and it should look like there are 0 raw edges when you fold these in on each other. When you're done, it should look something like this, and you will sew along all the way up the vent and all the way down the hem. You can see as I'm doing this, I'm actually leaving my needle in, turning, and then I will continue to do that for each one and sewing down so it is one continuous zigzag. Once you have finished your hem, you are done. Feel free to ask me any questions. Tag me on social media. I would love to see your work, and I really hope you guys enjoy your dress. Happy sewing!